Good day. Welcome to Fairfield County Talk Radio, fairfieldcountytalkradio.com. I'm John Marino. We are produced by Shark Creative. This is What's Happening in Fairfield County, and we are made possible by our title sponsors, Tough Lawn Service and Fairfield County Tick Control. Also by Echo Systems Irrigation and Lighting, Gutter Brothers Home Services, by Santa Fuel, New England Motor Oil, MDM Sanitation, Good Morning Wilton, Earthscapes Landscape Management and Development, also by Apollo X Pest Control, Dagny's Real Estate, and the Wilton Chamber of Commerce. Here we are now on Yes, indeed. What's happening in Fairfield County, joined by Quinnipiac University polling analyst Tim Malloy. Welcome. At Quinnipiac, you just conducted a poll, a post-election poll, and we always know that once one election season comes to an end, a new one begins. And the scope of this is national, and yet everything here applies locally. First of all, Donald Trump. Has he lost his fastball?
You know, you'd certainly think so from the shape of this particular poll. I mean, his had the lowest favorability he's had in 7 years. And as you know, favorability is an overall assessment of not just policies, but what kind of person you are, character, potential. That's a big thing, favorability. And he really went in the tank on that across the board. 59% of Americans, almost 60%, think have an unfavorable opinion. He's never been that low.
Mm-hmm. Is this, I guess, a continuous case of Trump shooting himself in the foot over and over again now?
It isn't even opinion to say, because everybody knows Republicans as well. He had a terrible week last week or last couple of weeks with the meetings with certain people down at Mar-a-Lago. His announcement fell flat. He's not raising any money. He's about to make or has made an announcement today about something. So he's kind of desperately grasping at straws. I think it's safe to say that at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Now, Joe Biden has to be happy about this. The president has gone up, he's gone down, he's gone up, he's gone down. He seems to be trending ever so slightly, maybe in a positive direction again.
There's no doubt about it. He has a 43% approval rating, which isn't obviously not great. It's not 50%, but he'd been down to the 35, 36, 37 range. So, yeah, he's bounced back. He's not a tremendously popular president. The majority of Americans do not want him to run again. But when you compare him to Trump, at least at the moment, he's a star.
If you were Joe Biden and you were still deciding about whether or not to run for president, would these numbers give you hope?
Yeah, it's hard to get inside the head of the Biden administration right now. They've got to be looking at Trump and saying this, that he may be in the rearview mirror. And that's good for them, I suppose. And you got a long way to go. It's 2 years, so a lot can happen. I would say these would be encouraging, an affirmation that maybe they were doing something right. And again, if they get Trump out of the way, which he may be doing to himself, that's good for him.
Quinnipiac University polling analyst Tim Malloy here on What's Happening in Fairfield County. I'm John Marino, fairfieldcountytalkradio.com. The Supreme Court, depends on who you talk to, at least who I talk to. I think about half the people I talk to say, well, I'm liberal and they're too right-wing. And the other half are conservative and they say, that court, boy, are they too far left. How does it stack up now?
Well, right now it's 54% disapprove of the way the Supreme Court is handling cases and 35% approve. So that's not a good number. You got to figure the Roe v. Wade thing is still lingering because that showed up as an important factor in the midterms, and that we learned a lot about how people felt about that. So not a great number for the Supreme Court.
The January 6th committee, their work seems to be done, except the final report. We are expecting criminal referrals 2 years later. Is the American public seemingly still interested in this?
Well, the majority are. I mean, not overwhelmingly interested, but I think the interesting thing on this thing, John, is that 54% of people believe that it was registered voters believe it was an attack on democracy that should never be forgotten or forgiven. So I think if you bring it up at the dinner table, you'll find that people are still sad, scared, outraged about the thing.
We move on to racism and bigotry. And
yes, sir.
This obviously seems to be an issue that is growing in scope around this country, and especially in this area of the country in the Northeast. How does this stack up at this time?
Well, we asked the question, obviously, because of the Kanye West comments. I mean, no matter what you think about Kanye West, he's very well known. It brought the thing to the fore as far as the anti-Semitism. 4 in 10 Americans think that racism and bigotry in the U.S. is on the rise. That's a lot of people concerned about it. 6 in 10 think prejudice against Jewish people is on the rise. So there's concern as we enter this time of holiday seasons. We're all supposed to get together and love each other, that those two dark, dark things, bigotry, racism, 3 things, anti-Semitism, are alive and concerning.
The elephant in the room, Twitter and Elon Musk. Is this a real game changer for this country, at least right now?
A little hard to follow what's really going on with this because it changes every day, and he's extremely unpredictable. 36% of Americans have a favorable opinion. 33% have an unfavorable. This is about Elon. 26 say they don't know enough about him. He's just a mysterious, fabulously wealthy, strange dude, and I think that's safe to say. He is not popular in any way. He's known fairly well. He's doing a lot of big things, but people are concerned about the future of Twitter and how it's going to influence people's lives, particularly young people. And he's the guy who's in charge. So, and he's not a popular guy.
Does it come down to basically whether or not he can keep Twitter afloat, because they keep reading all these financial statements and the way things stand with Twitter right now, how far behind they are financially, what they need to do to catch up? Is this doable on his part, or is he just a rich guy having some fun right now until that bunch of money runs out?
This is not a polling question, but I mean, I've read, as you have, a lot of things about people. He's a gambler. He rolls the dice. He's throwing billions of dollars out there, hoping this thing will work. He's stripped the lawyers for the company away. He's fired tons of people,
and then brought a lot back too. The people,
and then brought it back. And I think really the question is, if it happens that he keeps the thing, what's it going to be? Is it going to be a free-for-all of hate and free speech, or is it going to be policed, or what's he going to do with it? That's the other big question. A lot of concerns about what Twitter has become or could become. So what's he going to do with it, assuming it floats?
Tim Malloy, one thing we can all agree on: happy holidays.
Same to you, John, and everybody, all your viewers and listeners.
We'll talk to you next time.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. Again, our thanks to Quinnipiac University polling analyst Tim Malloy here on What's Happening in Fairfield County, fairfieldcountytalkradio.com. I'm John Marino, and we are made possible by our title sponsors, Tough Lawn Service and Fairfield County Ticket Control. Produced by Shark Creative and also made possible by Echo Systems Irrigation and Lighting, Gutter Brothers Home Services, by Santa Fuel, by New England Motor Oil, MDM Sanitation, Good Morning Wilton, Earthscapes Landscape Management and Development, by Apollo X Pest Control at Dagny's Real Estate, and the Wilton Chamber of Commerce. Catch all of our Fairfield, Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, Orange, and Dutchess County Talk Radio programming on our YouTube channel, Shark Creative YouTube. And yes, we are now on Apple Podcasts, too.